Welcome to another exciting episode of Musa and Show. Here is what we have today.
Sanibona, i-ANC namuhla beyine-memorial service for uPope Francis, umholi webandla le-Roman Catholic Church. Kodwa-ke nginombuzo owodwa. Uyini uFrancis ku-ANC ukuthi sebengaze bamenzele i-memorial service? Umbuzo engenampendulo, uma wazi ngicela ungiphendule la ku-comment section. Nanokuthi amazwe ase-Afrika akhathazeka kangaka ngokuhamba kukaFrancis. Bayahamba abantu, kodwa ngikhumbule kuthiwa kune-memorial service la eSouth Africa yomuntu ohambile. Ngiyibonile iy'tatimenti ey'phuma kuma-political parties ehlukene, kodwa kuze kube ne-memorial service. Angisho ukuthi akufanelanga yenziwe, kodwa ngizibuza ukuthi ubudlelwana nabo ne-ANC obunjani? Abezindaba bambuzile kufikile Mbalula ukuthi usazohlangana nama-political parties na, noma sebeqedile ukuhlangana nokubonisana nama-political parties na. Lama-political parties avota nabo ukuphasisa i-fiscal framework. Wayese ethi kune-announcement enkulu ezokwenziwa. Sizomcaphuna kufikile Mbalula. Kodwa-ke ngaphambi sicaphuna uFikile Mbalula, izolo i-DA kanye ne-EFF beyithula izethulo zayo enkantolo. Nalaba abamele ugovernment nabo bethula izethulo zabo enkantolo mayelana nodaba lwe-VAT. Sizocaphuna nje ama-clip ambalwa, kodwa sizofocusa kakhulu kwi-EFF ngoba izethulo ze-EFF neze-DA cishe yifane, zehluke kancane. Ngizocaphuna nje awe-EFF bese emveni kwalapho sicaphuna ijaji ukuthi litheni, lithe isinqumo lizosikhipha nini, ukuthi i-fiscal framework iyabuyela na kwi-committee noma ayibuyeli, ngoba abakufisa be-EFF ukuthi i-fiscal framework ayibuyele kwi-committee, iqalwe phansi. Uma ngabe kufuneka amendwe emveni kwalapho besiye eParliament kuyovotelwa, kuzoba-ke nebudget eqondile. Kodwa-ke isinqumo masingayivunanga i-EFF ne-DA, i-VAT izokhipha in ngomhla ka-1. Akuyona i-VAT kuphela lapho i-EFF ekhuluma ngayo. Enye into abakhuluma ngayo lento abathi income tax bucket creep, ukuthi uminister funeka i-adjuste ingabi above i-inflation, yenzela ukuthi abantu uma besebenzile ingagcini imali yabo uma kuthiwa usebenza ama-overtime, imali yakhe eningi igcine isithathwa i-tax. Ngicela ukwenzela umzekelo lento engikhuluma ngayo.
I-tax ya 21,000. I remember when I tell people that nabantu ababa-tax abo 15,000 baya-complain about how can tax be 15,000. This is proof. This is a pay slip of an engineer, and this person got taxed 21,590. If the income, basic income is 58,000, the overtime yakhe bethi 20 or 19.5, so 20,000. Yathatha the tax bracket yayikhuphula to a point life yakhona ku 21,000 i-tax. Every time when I tell people this, abathembi ukuthi i-tax yabantu ayifani. The more you earn, the more you get taxed.
Siyaqonda ukuthi i-tax ayilingani njengoba ibizwa kuthiwa i-pay as you earn, ithi PAYE. I-calculate-wa ngokuthi uhola kangakanani. Kodwa bheka lo muntu ukuthi lo 19,500 awusebenzile as overtime usudliwe i-tax yonke, ayisingena kule beyi-basic yakhe. So ile yafuneka uminister i-adjuste ingadluli inflation, ingadluli mhlambe ku-5% or 4%. Kusho ukuthi uma beyidila ukuthi noma usebenzile overtime kube khona uzosala nakho ku-overtime yakhe, ingabi sedliwa i-tax yonke. Ezinye zezinto i-EFF yayikhuluma ukuthi ifuneka zi-amendwe kule fiscal framework, ukuthi uminister akafaki limit ukuthi ingadluli inflation. Kodwa-ke ngake ngayenza ivideo la kwakukhona usisi wayichaza kabanzi ngayo lento le. Asingeneni kodwa benla izolo lelo belikhulunywa lapha enkantolo, siza ukuthi kuthiweni.
I want to make 3 submissions in support of the relief sought by the EFF. We don't have the same problems that the DA has, because we have challenged both the decisions of the Standing Committee and the resolution National Assembly. So the difficulty that Parliament puts up, not that it is valid, but it doesn't apply to us.
Advocate uNgcokayi Thobi omele i-EFF uthi kunezethule eziwu-3 abafuna ukuzithula phambi kwenkantolo noma ke bengakhalela into efanayo noma bengasubmit into efanayo ne-DA kodwa iyahambelana. Ngakho ke banezethule eziwu-3 abazozibeka phambi kwenkantolo ama-arguments wabo abeza nawo. Ngicela ukuthi sicaphune lezi zinto eziwu-3. Asizukungena kuma-details sizocaphuna nje ukuze ube nesithombe ukuthi yiphi izinto ezisubmithwe i-EFF. Emveni kwalapho sicaphune lo obemeli state, emveni kwalapho siza ukuthi ijudge litheni bese siya kwi-announcement.
So the submissions we will make in support of the interim relief to suspend the operation of the committee decisions as well as the adoption by the National Assembly are the following. The first one is a narrow one relating to the VAT rate increase. We will submit that in addition to what Mr. Bishop has said, the VAT rate increase is substantively unconstitutional. I will deal with the implications of Section 9 of the Constitution. The second part of that argument is I will submit that the process through which the VAT increase was adopted is itself irrational and unconstitutional. In fact, it has elements of deception because what they did, the minister and those who sponsored the increase created the impression that it was subject to change. When you now read their affidavits, they say that they've always known that it was never subject to change from the 12th of March. So if you are a public representative and you go to Parliament and you tell your colleagues, don't worry, vote with me, this may change, you are deceiving them. And that is an improper use of public power.
Isethulo zokuqala asibekile uadvocate uNgcokayi Thobi esithi ukukhuphuka kwe-VAT kuviolate usection 9 we-Constitution. Asizukungena ke kuma details ngoba uyangena ayichaze yonke lonto lokuthi uthini usection 9 imviolate kanjani kwenzakalani. Isethulo sesibili uthi yona le fiscal framework yakhele esisekeleni esingenalo iqiniso ngoba uminister ukhohlise laba abavote kanye naye. Uthi uvele waya kubo wathi avotani nathi lena isizokwazi ukuyiguqula futhi le VAT nizoza nama recommendation sibone ukuthi singaguquka. Kodwa mase ufunda affidavit uthi uminister kusuka ngomhla ka12 eyibeka le proposal wayazi ukuthi uma nje i-committee liyabe ingayi-amendanga akukho okuzoguquka okusho ukuthi izokhuphuka i-VAT. Abantu abebenamandla okuyi-amenda i-committee. Kodwa ke u-advocate argue ukuthi ukuze labantu bavote naye akakhulumanga iqiniso. Manje njengomuntu oyi-public representative badukise nathi njengamalungu omphakathi ngoba i-Action SA nalamanye ama-political parties abasupporte nayo i-fiscal framework babuye batshela thina ukuthi sikhululeke i-VAT izoshintsha. Bakhulumile ne-ANC no-minister bavumelene naye ekubeni azi uminister ukuthi leyo nto ngeke iziyenzeka. Asize sethulo sesithathu.
Third argument would be then to challenge the fiscal framework under Section 8(4) of the Money Bills Act. Yes. So 07/18, paragraph 47 says Athol Trollip, who is an MP and Action SA's national leader, is on record making this exact point in a media briefing he hosted on 2 April 2025, following the National Assembly and NCOP's adoption of the impeachment report. In that briefing, he made the following statement. 47.1, as per its negotiations with the ANC, Action SA's support for the fiscal framework is conditional on the finance minister scrapping the VAT is recorded in the annual budget and fiscal framework. 2, having expressed his irritation with his perception that the ANC is reneging from its appointment and misrepresenting the facts leading to the adoption of the impugned report, Trollip asserted that the ANC must implement Action SA's recommendations, which were the preconditions as stated. 3, pulling out his phone and reading his negotiation exchanges with the finance minister, he stated that the latter said to him, "I imagine you will be able to come up with proposals to replace the revenue proposals," to which Action SA made its conditional support proposals. It was at this point that the poison tree blossomed and gave rise to the impugned report fruit. It is that sequence of events that gave rise to this amendment proposal, as agreed with the finance minister and the ANC. Then it goes further. 4, Trollip went on record that following that precondition and concession, Action SA then approached and convinced Bosa and Rise and Zanzi to vote in favor of the impugned report adoption. He repeated the condition in another interview, to which I will refer to in a moment. So, it is him who says the minister has misrepresented the truth. So I say that the minister is guilty of deception. So once you have a budgeting process that is so colored by deception, it is fundamentally in breach of the duties imposed on members of parliament, especially our National Executive Committee. So you cannot endorse a budgeting process where the deception is so clear. And in fact, my lady and my lord, I've been reading from paragraph 47. If you actually go to the minister's answering affidavit, so fine. The answering affidavit starts at 035. There's something that will shock you, because the answer to the EFF is at 0351.
Zero?
0351.
Yes,
that's
there.
where the answer to the EFF starts, the seriatim. And you see where it starts at paragraph 85. And at paragraph 47, which is where the accusations of misrepresentations are made, is just not answered.
Sorry, you on zeros?
0351, and I'm comparing that with 0719.
Okay, yes.
So if you go to 0351, where they start the seriatim response to the EFF at paragraph 101, they started at paragraph 85. So compare that with paragraph 47, where the accusation is made by Trollip that the minister is guilty of misrepresentation. That is a very, very serious accusation. You would have expected that it would be met frontally. It's just not an answer.
So what must we make of that now?
Well, it still comes back to whether or not a report that is undermined by deception and misrepresentation can pass the rationality standard. Because remember, the EFF challenges that report on substantive unconstitutionality and irrationality. One of the grounds for irrationality has been highlighted by the leadership presiding, which is there's a mismatch between the content and the outcome. But another one is that this is a report that is a product of deception. It's not honest what happened here.
So at the time the minister engaged Action SA, he knew that the VAT rate which he announced on the 12th of March cannot be changed.
That's what he says now in the answer affidavit. He says, from the onset, I made my decision on the 12th, and that was it. So then that calls into question then what on earth was he doing with Trollip lying to him?
Njengoba umbona kuncuka ithobi la eprova ukuthi uTrollip lo we-Action SA wakhuluma kuma media briefing azisa abantu ukuthi sivumelene nominister. Uminister wathi in 30 days uzothatha proposal lawo abeze nabo bawabheke bese uma sebewabhekile babona ukuthi if bengakukhona indlela bangaraise ngayo ama revenues ngeke baze sayikhuphula iVAT. Kodwa kwi-affidavit yakhe uthi minister yena kusuka ngomhla ka-12 wayazi ukuthi iVAT mayingasiphase nje so u-advocate la argue ukuthi isisekelo sokuvumelana kwabo asinalo iqiniso kanti njengoba belapha eParliament bazibophezele bona ukuthi always bazosebenza on honesty and transparency. So if ibona bekwazi ukukhohlisana lapha lento egcina yenza nathi njengamalungu omphakathi sigcina sesikhohliseka ngoba nje kubantu abalandela iAction SA banethemba lokuthi ngeke ikhuphuke iVAT ngoba uminister wabathembisa kanjalo wathi bazozibheka izethulo zabo njengoba atheve ufuthi uzuyaveza ukuthi iAction SA iyona ehambe oconvince iRise Mzansi yaconvince iBhosa ukuthi cha sivumelene nominister angeke iVAT sizoyiscraper out ngaleso sizathu votani kanye nathi base beyavuma ke uthi ke uadvocate yakhele esisekelene esingenalo iqiniso lonto iviolate i-oath of office yabo ngoba bazibophezele ayikwazi ukuthi kunga-adoptwa ibudget eyakhele esisekelene esingenalo iqiniso izethulo lezi ezithulwe u-advocate uNcoka Ithobi asidluleke manje sicaphune lo obemele iside leli lika minister nestate emveni kwalapho ke bese sithola i-announcement ye-ANC ngiyafisa ngabe ngiyaqhubeka yazi kulolu daba interesting kakhulu izinto ezikhulunywe lapha enkantolo kodwa ke asingene ngapha.
Then the fiscal framework as it was what was the fiscal framework?
There was no intention to even look at those recommendations. I mean, the Speaker was alert. The committee secretary was alerted to the problems the same day. The EFF sent a letter to the Speaker the same day, the DA the next day, to say, look, we've got problems with this report, and it was pushed through to Parliament. There was no intention to engage with the 30 days. So at least on the face of it appears that Action SA naively thought that its strict condition was going to get even the most basic time of day. It was never anybody's intention. The purpose, which was simply to force it through. And if you look at the record, the chairperson of when Mr. Molefe says it's 7:47, what are we adopting? Because the report has changed so many times and we haven't seen the report. The chair says, let's proceed. And he wants an adoption. Then when the letters, the same day when the political parties contact the secretary of the committees and say this doesn't reflect what we discussed, the letters are then sent to the Speaker. It's literally pushed through. And what's quite extraordinary is that it didn't have to be. The process, the Speaker, your client, could have slowed the whole process down and said, let's make sure we're all on board. We've got a report. This is an issue of national importance to every single person in the country. Let's make sure we're not seen as pushing this through with undue haste and that we've dealt with all of the concerns that have been raised. But that was not the approach taken. In fact, it was the contrary approach. And one has to ask why. Why is there such a reluctance to engage either with the strict condition or to have the minister consider other options? Why is this no taxation without representation consideration just given short shrift?
Kubantu abalandela le channel bazokhumbula siwenzile ama video ngoba iEFF kanye neDA baphakama bamtshela uSpeaker sikuthumelela incwadi iEFF yayithume ngayizolo yayithumele iDA yayithumele ekseni ethi iprocedure ayilandelanga kwi committee le money bill ngaleso zathi bacela ukuthi ayithathe le fiscal framework ayibuyisele back to i-committee ingazigcina ivotele kodwa uSpeaker wathi no i-right njalo manje la umbuzo obuzwa uthi why noma ukuthi kune confusion noma kukhona la bangaqondi khona kodwa kungani ayivumela ukuthi ayiqhubeke asizwe ukuthi ummeli wakho uphendula wathini angifuni ungena kuma details ngoba sayikhava le ndaba kakhulu.
Anything beyond the fact that the Action SA proposal as it was sent to Parliament is what was incorporated into the report. If the court is to find ultimately the report read as a whole doesn't meet the clear statement envisaged by 8.4 of the Money Bills Act, then I have to accept that that's the end of it in relation to those reports.
I think my sister raised an important issue also, that if not all members are on board, meaning not everyone understands what is being voted on at that point, that and then it simply is adopted, does that not taint the process?
So, Madam, that's a particularly difficult issue in relation to politics. And I say that cautiously because if the court is to listen to that recording, it's clearly a large part of it is around political posturing overall. And it does raise the question as to what is the appropriate threshold, the appropriate point at which a chairperson can say, I've formulated the correct question, I've asked it, I've put it to the vote. The committee has spoken and I'm carrying that. And I would submit, and certainly
that is one way of looking at it. There's also another way, in particular if you have regard to all the questions that have been asked by the MKP, Mr. Brian Molefe, Mr. Burke, then it's Mr. Van Rooyen of the MKP again, then Mr. Molefe again. The timestamp here that I've got on the record is 0947, paragraph 114.12. Mr. Molefe said that Mr. Beasley had stated as part of his motion that Action SA did not support VAT and asked whether that was part of what we have just adopted. So there was massive confusion. But why did the chair, as my learned sister has indicated, so adamant and eager to adopt this? For what possible reason?
Justices, I can't take it beyond referring the court to what I've said already.
Uyabona nje mawuza umbuzo ekuthiwa yabuza uBrian Molefe ngoba babefuna ukucaciseleka nginayo ivideo kodwa ngeke ngisayifaka la abuza khona ukuthi kahle kahle senze njani ngoba zimbili izinto efuneka sizenze kule committee. It's either siyayi-accepta injengoba injalo noma siyayi-amenda. Wathi lo uTroliphi Action SA cha siyayi-accepta kodwa ihamba ne-recommendation. Wathi no, there is no law esivumela ukuthi si-accepte besihamba nama-recommendation. Funa ke si-amende senze ama-recommendation kodwa uthi akuvunyelwana. Yingakho-ke la bebuza ukuthi uSpeaker uyivume kanjani bebona ukuthi kune-confusion. Ngoba-ke lolu daba oluphuthumayo ofuna ukuthi kushaye umhla ka-1 kube sekwaziwa ukuthi kumiphi. Ijaji likhulume kanje.
I want to say thank you to Council. This is a complex matter. Thank you for the manner in which you have assisted the court with your argument as well as the papers that you put before us in a way that we could understand. And we do understand that it's a complex issue, but it must be decided as soon as possible. And so we will do our best to give judgment at the latest on the 29th, which is next week, Tuesday. But if we do give it before that, we'll let you know. Okay, thank you. Court adjourns.
Sekhulumile kumehluleli wathi i-judgment izophuma ngomhla ka-29 kodwa uma kungase kwenzeke bayikhiphe earlier than that bazobazisa nathi phela sobe sesibanalo ulwazi. Asizeke kwi-announcement eshuwo umbalulu ukuthi bazoyenza.
One last question. Your meetings with political parties, how has that been going? Are you done now? Have you concluded all your meetings?
We're looking forward to a big announcement and out of engagement with political parties this afternoon, which will finish later in the day. Particularly those political parties that have voted for the budget framework. We've been engaging as of last week. As you know, other political parties have gone to court. But we think as we conclude our discussions this afternoon, we should be in a position between today and tomorrow to have a joint press conference on the matters of the budget and the way forward with regard to VAT.
Usekhulumile kuMbaxi ukuthi wonke lama political parties lawo babona la ku screen sakho laba bavotele I framework le, I fiscal framework, bazohlala nabo kusasa kuxoxwe ukuthi what is the way forward. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi phela manje iqiniso sebeyalazi, sekufuneka manje i-ANC ikhulume nabo-ke, izama ukuba convince, izama ukuthi ibonisane nabo, bethembisana into ey'thize ngoba ama-political parties anjengo-Action SA athi wona avote ngoba i-ANC ivumile ukuthi izoyisusa iVAT. Kodwa manje njengoba sekuvela ukuthi ngeke isayisusa iVAT, funeka i-ANC ba-convince. Asazi-ke ukuthi bazovumelana ngani, kodwa ukuthi bazobiza-ke i-joint press conference, osho ukuthi kuzobe kungama-political parties ahlukene kwi-press conference, bekhuluma bona ukuthi bavumelane ngani ne-ANC. Asilindeke, asikiyeke nje ukucabangela nokusola kwethu ukuthi mhlampe bazothola iy'khundla noma ini, kodwa asilinde bona basiphe izethulo zabo. Ngiyacela ukusubscribe kwi-channel, ulike i-video, ucomment, ushare, ulike. Kwabafisa ukusupport ikhona i-account la kwi-comment ephiniwe, ine-number futhi elinke nayo. Ngiyacela lokho ngaba nakho nje ungasidonatela, ungajoyina futhi in-membership, kuno-join la on your bottom right. Uqala nje ku-R40 ngenyanga ngiyaphezulu. Mina nawe sidibane kwi-video elandelayo, ngiyabonga.